Hi, I'm Rohit Suresh. I'm currently a master's student in industrial engineering at Iowa State University, and I'm working under the guidance of Dr. Cameron McKenzie. Today I'll be talking about a very important aspect of disaster management and response, community resilience. Community resilience is an important component of long-term planning for a town or a city. Resilience generally refers to the ability of a system or community to first withstand a disruption and then recover from it. But specific definitions will always vary from researcher to researcher and from discipline to discipline. Now, given that resilience is so important, how do we know how resilient any given community is? Or rather, why is it important to measure community resilience? Consider the mythological bird phoenix, for example. So when a phoenix undergoes an adverse event, it takes the damage, it dies, and it's immediately born again. Good as new. A phoenix is a great example for a system with almost perfect resilience. Now, unfortunately, we'll never have a community made up of people that are like phoenixes or systems that are like phoenixes. Believe us, we've tried finding them. And since we can't have perfect communities like that, it becomes important to keep track of how resilient our communities are. It helps us in focusing our efforts towards communities that are not very resilient, especially the ones that are at a high risk of disruptions. Now, there have been many studies on how community resilience can be measured. Some use census data, socioeconomic factors, and some others use community organizational data. But not a lot of people have stopped to ask if these metrics are even appropriate. How well do these parameters even correlate to community resilience? Dr. McKenzie and I wondered the same thing, and we wanted to explore a new approach towards finding suitable metrics. Given that for any community, the objective is to maximize resilience, we propose using an objectives hierarchy to arrive at metrics that can be used to measure community resilience. These metrics will almost definitely have different units, so we can't really be adding them up to arrive at one final value for community resilience. To address this issue of different units, we'll be formulating value functions for each metric. Now, using these functions, we can assess how much value each metric provides towards the final value of resilience. We will now illustrate a possible objectives hierarchy for measuring community resilience. Like I had mentioned before, our fundamental objective is to maximize community resilience. By dividing a community into 5 parts, we arrive at the following structure. By exploring each of these 5 parts, we arrive at the following measurable metrics. By formulating value functions and determining weights for each of these metrics, we can arrive at a final numerical value for community resilience. Now observe that all these metrics are outputs of a disruption rather than the inputs coming from the community. Now, this approach can not only be used to measure community resilience, but also for evaluating any plans or strategies that are proposed towards enhancing community resilience. For example, if a city council was presented with 5 strategies to enhance resilience, that they could follow our approach, and then by following our approach, we can see that strategy 3 works best towards increasing community resilience. In conclusion, we believe that this approach provides more appropriate metrics because all the metrics are derived from the fundamental objective of maximizing community resilience.